Now what's happening is AI is really picking up speed. Artificial intelligence, you know, sure enough, people in the 1960s said that by now you'd have computers smarter than you are, and that hasn't quite happened. It's now still about 8 or 9 years away, but it will come. It hasn't happened yet, but you know, don't be complacent. If you fall off the top of the Eiffel Tower or something, you know, the first 300 or 400 meters, you're quite safe. It's only the last meter that's actually dangerous. When you hit the ground, that's when it kills you. And all up until then, you're just enjoying the view. So, you know, don't be complacent. This is coming. AI will reach roughly human levels by between 2015 and 2020. And computers after that will be part of the family. You talk to them just like your friends and stuff like that. What this means is we'll see a revaluation of human skills. Human skills today, based on intellect, knowledge economy, great. That's perfectly correct. Knowledge economy is where we're at right now. But the knowledge economy will not last forever. It's going to last another 10 years, and then it will start declining. And it will be replaced by what I call the care economy, which is a recognition that intellectual skills can be done by computer programs in that far future. So just as we've seen, you know, JCB can do the job of 400 men, well, so can the PC do the job of 400 men in the future. Don't rely on your first-class degree from Oxford. It doesn't get you anywhere. If you haven't got the interpersonal skills, emotional skills, caring skills, you will not be in employment. Because I can go to PC World and buy a £150 PC and replace you with your big salary. So you can't survive on the basis of intellectual skills in the future. The care economy will dominate. Now, if you take a good example of this is in the hospital. Hospital consultant essentially is an expert system attached to a very sophisticated robot. You can replace the hospital consultant. They've got zero interpersonal skills, you know, actually negative interpersonal skills. They're designed with arrogance to make me feel inferior and make you not want to get better just to piss them off. The nurse, on the other hand, comes over, gives you a nice cuddle. The nurse actually improves your healing rate by giving you that cuddle. Nurse is very valuable. You can't replace the nurse by R2D2, but you can replace the hospital consultant. Now, whether that means an inversion of pay scales, which I very much doubt actually, but it will really create a reevaluation of what human skills really should be about. Dare I say, we might be moving towards a female-dominated world with women are generally better at emotional skills and interpersonal skills because that's where our biology takes us from. Back in the days of the caveman, us men went out with a spear and we fought a mammoth, and we brought it down and we dragged it back to the hut and we ate the mammoth for the next 6 months. The women stayed back in the cave and looked after the society. So they got the interpersonal, emotional skills. That's woven into human nature. And I'm not a feminist, I'm not a masculinist. I'm just recognizing there's a difference here. And the skills which are predominantly male are likely to be wiped out by automation. And the skills which are predominantly female are likely to flourish. Now, it's not black and white. You know, things like policing are part of the care economy, and teaching and stuff. But most teachers are actually women. Policing, military stuff, you have to be there face to face to do those sorts of jobs. So there are still some roles for men, but it's a reducing role. So lots of winners and losers. Now, I was asked to talk about this, and this is a 1-hour lecture in its own right. But we're going to see a decline of things like centralized manufacturing being replaced by desktop manufacturing because the technology says you can do all of that. I'm relying on this slide. I'm not going to spend very long on this. You're reading this hopefully faster than I can ever talk, and by now you should be getting to the bottom of it. But things will change quite a lot as a result of technology, and some industries will go downhill and some will go uphill. If you haven't finished that, tough. Learn to read faster. Some more winners and some more losers. Well, the real world is being replaced by a virtual and dual world. Full-time work, well, who needs that anymore? People are going to work for multiple employers during their work life. These are simple facts of life, and you have to learn to deal with those because you can't really resist them because employers starting off from scratch don't have to employ people in any particular way. All you can ever force to do things are the employers which are already using lots of people, and by and large they're in dying industries anyway. So we're in a different world. What about remuneration? I think remuneration is going to get more difficult in the future. Some jobs are really key. And if you haven't got a couple of really good designers, for example, on your staff, look at Apple. Why does Apple keep on beating all the other computer manufacturers, you know, they always make the coolest things. Well, they've got the best designers. They're the top 0.1% of designers. If you've only got the top 0.2% of designers, you know, like all the other guys, you know, Toshiba and Panasonic, everybody else that makes PCs, well, you're just an also-ran. It's the top 0.1% that you really sticks out. But 0.1% is only 0.1%. That means 99.9% of the population is commodity. And you can buy that commodity stuff everywhere in the world. If you're 1 in a million, sorry to point it out, there are 6,500 people better than you in the world. And if I only need 10 people, I'm not going to employ you. 1 in a million isn't good enough. You've got to be right at the very, very top to get this high remuneration level. Everybody else is a commodity, and with today's networks, you can employ those from anywhere in the world. That's a hard fact of life. I know you don't like it, but it's where things are going.